Okay, quick recap. I'm going to use this tung oil. Hasn't been opened in a while. I guess not. Not supposed to come out like that. Just unplug this. Oh, that's got a cap in it that's supposed to come out. It's never been opened before. And then no magic formula. I'm just going to cut that with some paint thinner. As I said, all I want to do is just prevent it from drying before I have a chance to wipe it off. I'm probably going to end up with 3 coats. Make sure that you don't leave your oily rags laying around the shop, because this stuff is a warning on the can. It can cause spontaneous combustion, which, if you've never heard that term before, means you leave those rags all coiled up and they can actually catch fire on their own. Now keep fairly wet. The drying time in this, I usually leave about a day between each coat. But seeing as we've got to do some work in here tonight, I may be working on this a little sooner than normal. Based on the smell, we probably should have a window open too. Fumes are a little strong, so if the camera goes blank and Frick has fallen over, you know something's wrong.
Might wake me up.
Or get you hooked on a new habit.
At least they'll bring me back here.
What?
They'll bring me back here at least.
Okay, while I'm doing this, we are ready to start on the haul table. I think the first thing we'll do, we'll go through, give you a cutting list. We'll go through the tools that we're going to need and get started on the actual layout, rough cutting the pieces. I'm going to do this one out of pine as well, just because it's easy to, it's a nice wood to live with actually. It's also a nice wood to work with. Easier to cut, easier to plane. It allows you to develop your skill before you have to get into the more effort required on the hardwoods. I'll try to get that up on our site so that you have the cutting list a little bit before if you're trying to follow along. I'll give it to you fairly rough. You always want to allow for some screw-ups. Not intentional, but they happen. I'm looking forward to doing that one. We'll do some mortise and tenon work. We're going to be dimensioning some fairly long stock, which is something we haven't done yet. Not that it's that much different, but it certainly is going to add a new dimension to it. No pun intended. Now, I will keep this wet. There's probably enough on there now. I'll keep it wet, let it soak in. I probably, in looking at this, I probably should have cut it a little bit more. I'd like it to be fairly runny. It can get tacky real quick, and if it does, then it's a real pain to wipe off the residue. I'll end up having to do my other bench now. This is going to look so much better than it did. I don't know what the instructions are in this, but I I think they say wait until it starts to get a bit tacky before you rub it off. I just find that if, on a surface area like this, if you wait too long, you're scraping it off. So this first coat, which I just want to quickly seal things, I'm going to go ahead and buff that off right now. Oil don't build up very fast, so you have to have so many coats to get any kind of a protective finish, but as long as I've got enough on here that the glue won't stick is my concern. Now I realize we didn't have to tackle much in doing this. It wasn't twisted. There was no wind. And you may have a bench that does have that problem, and like I said, I hope that when we go to work on the haul table and dealing with those longer pieces, that will answer some of those questions. And if we don't answer them the way you want, just ask us on the form and we'll do a separate section if need be. Alright, you don't need to watch me doing this. I'll sign off, but just remember, don't leave your oily rags laying around. You might not have a shop to come back to if you do. We'll see you back here next week when we get started on our haul table.